Thank you.
If this is how the classes are going to balance out, I'm going to be interested to see how time does. I never like seeing two specials or support classes that way of having a sniper and a spy, although the two they're running are able to do an awful lot of damage.
Honestly, I think in this case, running Wedge as a sniper is not going to end up being a bad thing.
Oh,
I do think it's questionable that they are going to be... I think this is what you're getting onto, is they basically have two bodies that are going to be in the fight, but not actually taking any damage. They're going to be either doing all or nothing, and potentially they could lose Mateo really quickly if somebody notices he's there.
Right, and then I could see that turning into a role if when they happen to lose those big fights, you know, they could get pushed way back without the bodies to stop them.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised to see those two change classes frequently.
We are underway on the first half of round number 2, match number 2, between Time and T5. I think also something that we saw last week with 32X is a spy doesn't have to remain a spy for the whole game to be effective. You can play spy for just a minute or two and leave 20 minutes of paranoia, so that may be something they are looking at as well.
Johnny Wu-Tang does a Valley rollout and is immediately going to be able to block T5 from getting out of their house. That's going to give them a huge... Oh no. Yeah, it's going to give them a huge advantage in this mid-fight.
A nice hop by Johnny Wu to do that flying leap. There he goes again, going after the sentry gun.
And Wedge already has 2 kills.
Sentry gun down.
Yeah, Wedge is going to be able to get those picks that they need, but if they don't have the bodies to back it up, it's going to be a problem.
Time takes the center. That's a crits on a heavy. Pink Bandit rolling with Shroot Farms, crits into the middle and blows down at least 3 or 4 members of the other team before Wedge shoots her in the head.
Well, if you're going to run a crit spree, that's how you do it, folks. You need to do it immediately before the other team gets the Uber up. Now we have a medic with an Uber on point. He pops, but half his team is...
Inner pops on Blunt Spoon to stay alive against the incoming demo span.
T5 can easily take this point. They just need to push, but I don't think we're seeing that aggression. I think they're actually backing out.
Indeed, though, their engineer has gone aggressive, has built a mini-sentry just on their side of the center. He's trying to move it to cover part of point. The demo's identified it, it won't last long, it goes down.
Spy behind you.
Potato has an Uber ready, uses it on Pink Bandit. They are walking in towards center with T5. Looks like they've got a soldier. The second medic goes down. Sparky gets some kills, though, to cover the back.
You still have a spy behind you.
Yeah, it looks like T5 is retaking this mid-fight.
Yep, you can see there's only 3 up for Time. Now 4.
Unfortunately for T5, one of those 3 is Wedge.
Correct.
Able to take a couple of heads off while backing out.
T5 does take the center, eliminates the Time mini-sentry. They now have a mini-sentry of their own.
Wedge is peek and choke. He's taking out some people, and this is going to give them a chance to keep them held back until they get a Uber up, maybe.
Watching first person with Wedge as he gets that pick on the soldier there. He was going, looked like, for a medic. Oh, and there goes the heavy. Blunt Spoon gets Pink Bandit first.
I'm liking this play from Time. They're being aggressive. They're making use of their Ubers. They're getting pushes when they get the kills. I think they're going to do really well this game.
Wedge ganks the engineer there.
Neither team really wants to give this up. That might cause some problems for T5. They need to give it some time. They need to back up. They still have their medics, so they could easily hold blast. They could probably push back out if...
Good eye by Wedge, spotting Sparky way down in the corner there and sniping him.
It's going to be a question here if T5 gets a little too aggressive here. They just need to wait for Time to make... Oh.
Maple Man takes out Wedge, but not until he's done a great deal of damage. Now watching Maple Man.
And Shroot Farms has full Uber.
Maple knocks out Uber. Is now coming up on the back of the red medic.
Bluntspur didn't notice it. That was a few unlucky shots there by the scout. He could have taken out that medic, and Bluntspur would have been by himself.
Yeah. That was some good dodging by the red medic.
Gave time for a double.
Stays alive. Gets him
And they
now.
just lost
They need to
their
use
med.
Pink Bandit and
Inner goes down.
I believe that's ADP have walked out. Trash door.
Wedge shoots Maple Man, returns the favor. There is a red mini sentry on the ledge overseeing Spire.
Oh,
It goes
there
down.
Devilish. Just dropped the noodle in the backstab.
Mateo with the stab on that one. Bandit! Oh, Bandit takes out Black and Blue before being shot by Gearloose. That's a medic down.
I don't like what Crimson's doing. He's leaving his medic alone, and he's taking on basically the entire red team. And somehow gets away with it. Well, looks like T5 really needs to back up. They need to get to their last, they need to hold it, they need to get their stuff together. The Ubers are even, so they should be able to hold it if there's a push, provided they don't lose any more players. They really need
They're all up in the upper lobby.
they really,
Dangerous if they don't get back. There we go.
really need to hold their players.
One Spoon and Inner with 75% of an Uber are trying to creep into the bottom here. They're against Shroot Farms and Pink Bandit. They take out Blunt Spoon. Bandit, or sorry, Shroot is at 100% on a Kritzkrieg, uses it on Bandit.
This is the part where I'd say they're being a bit too aggressive, but they're getting some kills. If they can make use of this, and as long as they don't stop looking at their last point, they can push off of this.
They take out Johnny Woo and Black and Blue. They are running for Spire now. That little mini is the only inconvenience. It goes
Nobody on the
down.
final. I don't know if Mateo is in position to get back here. He's not going to be before it caps out.
That was a bold push out there by the T5 team.
Yeah,
It
that
was, but
really,
they're getting away
really
with
could have backfired.
They're now pushing back to their choke. Looks like Time has a pretty solid group at choke themselves. They're octo-heavying. With a Demo
They really-
and Wedge.
They really need to just calm down and just hold their positioning. They're down 3 players. They can keep this if they get a few more bodies out, and they're not keeping the pressure up, unfortunately.
And there's a stab by Mateo on another medic going down. Shroot Farm stabbed.
We have a counter.
Fritz is out.
Oh, and Devilish Potato, the second T5 medic, is taken out by a crit sticky. Both medics down on T5, both up for Time.
I like the flashing that Devilish did between the demo and the soldier there. They got some crit stickies and some crit rockets out, so that they made very good use of that Uber.
That is an excellent way to use up a crit, that's for sure. There is an L3 covering the Spire from a concealed place behind boxes on the battlements. That's going to be hard to knock out without a spy or some indirect fire.
They need to get a demo on that sentry gun in order to take it out, and I'm not sure if they're going to get that.
It's going to be dangerous with Wedge standing there.
Absolutely.
Anywhere he can shoot at the sentry gun, he's going to get hit shot by Wedge.
Now we're going to see a little bit of a firefight here. As we wait for,
Uber
either
attempting to
that-
rain on it, and the sentry takes out Black and Blue, as well as Uber. That little L3 sentry built by Gearloose, sorry, forgive me, is built by Rumpelnose. Oh, it finally goes down. Inner and Blunt Spoon walk up to the balcony and take it down.
Is that Mateo causing some
Mateo's
damage?
getting healed by the one of the blue medics for about a minute.
Oh,
That is good work by Mateo. The only thing you have to be careful with that is you are still charging your enemy's Uber, but definitely better to have it you being healed than them.
yeah, taking those heals away from his teammates, allowing them to take more extra damage. Oh, there goes Inner.
Time takes the Spire, but they lost several people trying to do it. They do have the Spire.
Not by much.
Not by a whole lot.
T3 is pushing back pretty much
Control point is
immediately.
being contested.
Yeah, T5 defending only with their engineer. The rest of the team is getting out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of aggression for both teams. They may need to just, on occasion, take a moment and regroup and attack. Because right now this is back and forth, which is kind of awesome. But I don't know if this is going to go much further. than this.
Makes good television, right?
Oh, absolutely, no question.
There's a lot of kills going on, a lot of grinding here.
Time has had the time now to get back to the front. They've built a full Uber on Black and Blue, and they are moving in with their entire team into the last base.
At this point, T5 should be back, waiting on, like, sitting on last, waiting for that push to come in.
Time
so
pops that Uber, they could walk directly onto this right now.
They pretty much have a heavy walking on the point right now.
The Uber doesn't get... that's the wrong medic. Medic's stranded behind. That went very poorly for Time. They lose 6 people and the Spire.
Oh, they might actually have this. They need to walk on the point now to... Oh!
That was very close. Almost a set cap. If there had been half a second more, that would have been a beautiful back cap.
Now we got an interesting situation going on, because we got basically a whole bunch of blue are pushing on the midpoint.
There's only 4 left of them, including an Uber, though.
Gotta be very careful here.
They're standing on center.
Roll the other way.
Both teams are trying to cap simultaneously, one on center, one on the Spire.
If nobody contests black and blue, he's going to take that point. And there's the contest.
There's the contest. That means that T5 will take the center, despite the fact they made the push to center with only 4 people up against 8.
If they keep pushing now, they could keep taking Spire, but there's no speed. There's nobody up there to keep moving, and unfortunately...
Wedge is down, and there's nobody else watching that point. The scout could get in there and take it, probably without too much difficulty. Here comes the scout. Maple Man making the jump. Maple Man going to point 4 on behalf of T5.
It's probably going to be a wake-up call of time.
Here comes an engineer. He's going to drop a mini.
He's going to drop a mini.
That's not going to be enough.
That won't be enough against a crouch scout.
It won't build up fast enough. He can get right into last right now if there's nobody on last.
He's running for last. Uber is by himself. Uber gets the shot.
That's enough.
That is a wake-up call, as you said, for Time to pay attention to their rear quarters, and that gives T5 the time to move forward.
I have way too many players on Spire. Demo could have... He tried. He could have easily taken out some players there.
He scattered and did a lot of damage.
Yep, that's going to come back and bite him in the ass.
Crits used on Pink Bandit going up the Spire. Spire's still in possession of Time.
And it's going to stay that way. T5 is losing a lot of players, a lot of damage is going out. They're not going to be able to hold this aggression. They got to back out now.
They are down to 3 players up versus 8 on Time.
Black and blue has Uber. A huge advantage given they're up about 80 on shoot farms.
Yeah, Time should be pushing this right now. They got numbers, they got an Uber, they got everything in the world. They should just go with it. They need to go.
Wedge as a scout right now. He's the one dancing around in center, but there are 4 or 5 members of T5 in there.
Got a crit streak going on center.
That's Black and blue with Johnny Woo.
Alert. The control point is being contested.
T5 should or rather Time should have this point. They just need to push them and take it.
There's a level 1. It just got sapped. Mateo takes out Rumpelnose, saps the gear. Time now
Really
all
defensive.
over.
For no reason. They could even have a scout cap and everybody else move up because they got player advantage. Except for that Uber that Blue Team has. A lot of
Wedge
harassment
is going to try to force a pop here.
Wedge running around near
At least make room for his team to push in.
near the T5 point. The rest of the fight seems to be near the choke. Mateo getting a couple of good stabs.
We just lost 4 people on T5. Neither of them were medics, but they they have basically a demo and 2 medics up right now, and they just used an Uber.
And
Mateo now using a
behind
dead
him.
ringer along with his Spicicle, the ultimate combination to frustrate enemies.
This is going to end really badly for T5. They had 3 players up on mid, and they had nobody there with them. They had no idea they were about to get wrecked.
Inner with a 100% Uber for Time, as well as Black and Blue. That's 200% Ubers. They're about to take Spire, and they're starting to move in. Inner pops the Uber to protect. They didn't get the Spire, though.
No, they're trying to bring people up behind, it looks like. There's the Uber on the battlements.
One Spoon and Inner now walking over the battlements.
This game really is all over the
Nice
place.
jump by Sparky. Takes out
Inner
Inner.
takes out.
Crit's demo and trash spending Crit's is over, but demo's jump to the point.
There are 6 minutes remaining, and there still has not been a cap.
This has been some excellent back and forth play by both teams.
Couple of stickies on final.
Yeah, they got two
Protecting-
demos.
They're protecting the.
Shroot grabs a sandwich, saves his life from a rocket incoming, and now has 100% Kritzkrieg ready to go. He uses it and gets blown up immediately by Gazankt.
I think he ran through a sticky trap.
Mentioning last time how there was going to be issues if you had a sniper watching down the sightline that was very good, and it might be that position where we have Wedge staring down the sightline last.
He's still on scout, but if he goes down, I wouldn't be surprised to see him change here.
Shouldn't really matter. He probably be able to
Time
get there.
all over the point.
Yep.
There's the capture for Time. First cap of the match. Looks like Crimson Shooting Star is swapping out. He just left. Now it's on T5. See what the player swap is.
What we're seeing a lot here is a lot of aggression from both teams, and there's probably a lot of communication too. It's just that they're not stopping and recounting their numbers and getting heals out, because when one team pushes in, they take a lot of damage, but they kill other players, and then reinforcements arrive and then kill the other team, and there's a lot of back and forth because of that.
Time and first to center with Johnny Woo again flying in, Wedge running in as scout.
Not seeing a whole lot of T5 on them. They got stuck in
They
house,
are.
looks like.
They know they're down a player. I wonder if they're not
Being
pressing
really
the mid very
defensive.
much here.
That's probably exactly what's going on. I don't see anyone. They're all at choke,
Here
actually.
comes.
What do we say? KK Pyro coming in.
Pulling a pyro. It looks like to deal with Mateo.
Wedge is running, and there's nobody watching the flank, so Wedge is running straight into scout. He's gonna go straight to Spire. They may have noticed him. They have a soldier watching the flank.
There is Mateo. Gets the backstab on Shroot. Costs the maneuver. That was very
I'm
near
curious to
it.
see where Wedge went.
Wedge is a scout still. It looks like he's on the battlements of the opposing team. He is on Spire,
He's going up.
going to the top.
Our control point is being captured.
He's gonna get to cap time, and I think he's gonna run in and harass. Yeah, there he goes.
Yep, pushing the other team out. And T5 is in a bad position. They need to back up the last now. They have an Uber, they can hold it. As long as that net doesn't go down, they can keep it. But there's nobody watching last. Oh, wait, yeah,
Inner with an
there's lots of
Uber
people
on
now.
behalf of Time, going in with a heavy towards last. Could be a party. They
Both
pop the
teams
Uber
now.
going into final at point blank. There's a counter Uber that's going to last just a hair longer. T5 should have it. Time goes on a run. Yep. Inner gets out of there.
React and say, hey, they popped when we popped. Okay, you guys won. We got to get out of here. And
Inner does a
unfortunately,
good
they
job bailing out while his partner draws fire. He stays alive, though doesn't have anybody to heal up.
We got Wedge sniping down.
Black and blue still
main
has
route.
his Kritzkrieg loaded. Not sure if they're gonna try to use it. I think they'll wait for spawns. Yeah, there's Wedge sniping again.
They're seeing it and they're countering it.
Yeah, the
Stanley
forward
Whiplash
demo
is,
helps with that quite a bit.
standing. He's trying to keep him out. If someone goes and helps that sniper out, then, like, he's gonna go down immediately.
And Maple Man sneaks up and takes Wedge out.
Very important taking out a good sniper.
Crits walking out. Pink Bandit with the crits gets countered by another crits.
Crits on crits. Who wins? The one with most HP.
And you don't see that too often that you get multiple crits. In that case, though, Bluntspoon had two medics on him at the same time in that crits versus crits fight, so he comes out.
Only has 3 players up here.
A really unfortunate sign of too much aggression on the T5 side. They have a pyro and an engineer in the level 3 sentry. Will that be enough to hold them?
They just got a couple of respawns there, but it's going to be a tough battle.
If Time wants to take this, they need to push with everything they got. They might be too late for that.
Yeah. I think you gotta remember to take the players, then the sentry.
Yep. They're seeing the damage that they've taken. They're certainly backing up.
Inner back to a 100% Uber.
unfortunately, they don't hold lower lobby. They got pushed right out to Crash and Grey Bridge. They're having to use this Uber to deal with an Uber Chris Heavy.
Mateo tries to chain sap the sentry gun. Not going to work. KK Pyro on it along with Rumble.
Now, Time's got some serious numbers of advantage, and they're still trying to be a little too aggressive. They should just hold their positioning and, just stick with it, get all their players back, and then get in and go again.
We can see how much an effect that spy is having here, even not taking things out. KK dedicated to nothing but just spy checking at the end, gets picked by Wedge, who is dancing at the corner, just got blew up by Snidely.
T5 is starting to see some of that antsiness again. They want to get out, but they don't have the force that they need to be able to push out. So they're losing players and taking a lot of damage. Time could push on this if they really wanted to. They have Uber.
Time has run out, and Time wins.
Great match,
I
guys.
won from
Very
Time.
back and forth.
First
That
half,
was fun to watch.
1-0
Go
in
ahead
favor
and
of Time.
Switch colors now, and then we'll take a 5-minute halftime. Switch colors, 5-minute half.
Alright guys, so what we saw there was a very even match. Two teams slugging it out back and forth. It went both ways at various points, though for the most part, it does seem like Time was on top.
They definitely have a lot of coordination going on, a lot of focus. It's just unfortunate. Both teams are being really, really aggressive. They need to slow down a little, take it in smaller chunks, and move as a team, which they're already doing, but a little bit slower.
I think the Tater Tots need an answer for Wedge. I'm not sure where they're going to find one, but he made a big difference there, getting the picks and the way they got taken, had their team whittled away at frequently, and kind of weakened a lot of their pushes or their presence in mid.
Yeah, basically once he was mostly focused in combat classes, I believe, and that takes down a lot of the presence that you have. Because, in an example, you could have a whole bunch of medics up, but if they don't have anybody to heal or make use of their healing, you don't really have anything at all.
Right.
And you can see on my screen here the chatter amongst some of the teams talking about that very problem. The mini sentry causing some issues for Maple Man, who was trying to work on Wedge the Sniper. They're working on other solutions.
I think you might end up seeing someone trying their hand at Spy, perhaps, and just focusing on Wedge.
Yeah, he's been wearing that. He's been wearing the Darwin's Danger Shield, so he's very vulnerable to a backstab. And just one or two of those would really change the way he plays for a little while.
It really is up for how he reacts to such a situation in that case. It might wind up where he would just end up being a bit closer to his team. I haven't been keeping too close of an eye on him, but I'm wondering if he's already aware of that kind of danger as a regular spy, or not spy, but sniper, and just keeps with his team, and he can do the quickscope headshots. I know that. I felt them. But will he make use of that and stick with his team so he doesn't get backstabbed by a potential threat like a spy?
He's been very close and aggressive, staying in the group, trying to be about as forward as they are at all times. So it would be hard for a spy to come in. I don't expect. We'll see. It looks like
So we do see,
has brought someone in.
yeah, we do see Doomslapper in that role. How much success he'll have, we do not know.
If they do put a spy in, that's going to be the sole purpose of that spy, is to counter Wedge, to take him down so he doesn't have free reign on taking headshots on other players. So in their case, in their situation, if they have their spy and they take Wedge out and spy dies, his job is done. And they can, I don't know if they'd be able to push, but they definitely have that advantage.
And we did see something like this. I wonder if it's in Potato's mind or the rest of his team's mind, that when they were facing against their opponent last week, who was, forgive me, it was 32. Yeah, they had an enemy spy just for the first minute or two, and for the rest of the match, their sniper was wearing a Darwin's Danger Shield. Meant he couldn't have the Crocodile Shield. It meant he couldn't have the Girardi. It impeded his playstyle for the rest of the game, even though the spy never came back. So, curious if they'll try the same sort of thing. Sorry, a Razorback, yeah, not a Darwin. he had a Razorback on. And so I wonder if they're going to try the same thing. Just make him a little afraid, make him change his loadout. That will make him easier to kill, obviously, if he doesn't have the extra hit points.
I do believe, I haven't played with it a lot recently, but I do believe the Razorback slows the sniper's movements, I think? Or was that changed?
Don't know, I never wear one.
I have to say, I have less than an hour played of genuine sniper in my lifetime versus a couple thousand of other classes, so I couldn't tell
I
you.
think that was one of the trade-offs that I don't really remember. Anyway, it's a disadvantage because he'd basically be wearing that Razorback for his own benefit rather than the rest of his team, and it'd be really detrimental for him to have to do that.
We also see Soup Nazi coming in, joining the team. We're connected to the server for a moment. Where'd he go?
Ender's readied up. I would think he means to use the player he has.
It'll be interesting to see if the full purpose of Doomsayer spy play is to take out Wedge, who is currently on Soldier?
He switched a lot last round in the spawn, so we'll see what he does.
Yeah.
I noticed that before the last match he was also checking out the other team and was reporting back on their medic loadouts before the round started. So he might be being a little clever there, identifying
Hey, legitimate
opponents.
strategy.
Yep, and here we are. We are underway for the second half of the second match. Time versus T5.
And just an interesting note right now, T5 is getting all their heals, all their players are getting healed up and getting buffs immediately.
It looks like Shroot Farms is probably on a Kritzkrieg, and Potato maybe on a regular Reaver. Or that
Yeah, it
two
looks like
crits
it.
is.
Might be looking at 2 crits on the red team and an Uber and a crits on blue team. Just the way that those Ubers are charging.
Yeah, I agree. Seeing
Ender's
Time
definitely
walking
carrying
over the...
regular. And black and blue on crits for Time.
And here come
You're
the
seeing-
crits creeks. If they got them, they're going to use them right now.
Oh,
Shroot goes down with his almost 100% full.
Alert. The control point is being
And
captured.
Time has already jumped. Wedge, as a soldier, jumped to the Spire. He stays alive
nice
through a
air
counterattack.
shot to take down Sparky.
Yeah, he's got a scout to deal with now. Takes down Maple Man.
Why just holding that spire? T5 needs to get out of there now.
Yeah, the rest of the time can walk forward if nobody's going to be able to eliminate Wedge. And there's
It's
the
also
capture.
Really interesting upset to the whole issue of having a sniper thing. If Doomsayer is trying to counter Wedge, Wedge is a sniper
T5
right
is
now.
down a man.
Nice work on the
Greybeard
medic.
just connecting in. Must have dropped at the beginning.
They
Time
drop
is
her,
on
they
the
can take
point
the down.
already.
Oh!
Oh,
What a
wow! That spy getting eliminated. Tungsten dying from the stickies when he did saved that point because he would have backstabbed the heavy
time.
defender.
Trying to pour in and taking that point, but they don't have anybody up, and they just wasted their lives. Except Mateo's on demo in lower left. Not being too aggressive, but he might try to push out. He might try something sneaky shortly.
He's got a fully charged Kritzkrieg with him in the form of black and blue, so that's a crits demo now in the T5 base. They've been spotted, so they need to pick something. They're getting flanked. Crits popped.
Oh,
Scout comes around, takes out black and blue with a lucky crit. Maple Man with the timely elimination.
they got a medic heavy pushing in the upper.
Time pushes right into
Left
bottom.
point.
That's a cat by Gazankt jumping in as a demo.
The red team had way too many players pushing lower left, trying to be too aggressive. They weren't watching their point, and they didn't realize their team was down.
Their team was down. They also had lost a player. They were at 8v9, just in
think they
terms
were
of people
switching out.
connected for a while. Bad timing on the switch out in that push between 4th and 5th. But sometimes there's just never a good time for it.
Unfortunately not.
Greybeard in the game now as a demo.
They're still seeing 3 Kritzkriegs in play and 1 regular Uber. Devilish is going to need to be a little bit more defensive. He wants to see that Uber come up before he gets killed by another Kritzkrieg. A lot of shots fired.
Time dominating the battle for center. They've killed 3 and lost none.
Yeah, T5 needs to back out. They hadn't very bad losses, and now they do. But they still have their medics.
They do. Yes, they have 4 people, but both medics alive. 2 medics, an NG, and a spy is difficult to defend with. But at the very least, they can get ready to hit back. Here comes the spy to try and do a defense. Yep, Doomslapper takes out Uber up top. One of the medics down as well.
Both of T5's medics have gone down.
Ooh.
Time has a full advantage.
They both preserved their Ubers, and then they both died. 200% versus 2 zeros.
They can roll in the last right now and just take it. They've got nothing standing in their way.
That's Blunt Spoon, Wedge, and Inner going in.
They know they've
Looks
got
like they're
going
going
right now.
This could get bloody. Oh, the Uber too late from Inner. Blunt Spoon eliminated by Pink Bandit.
That's pretty big.
That was
the second Uber up
bad.
Up top. Actually, no, they didn't.
That was just the remainder of the first one, but yeah, ouch. That was important. Yeah. I think Blunt just got a little bit more around the corner than Inner did, and so Inner wasn't able to see the threat that was so imminent until it was too late. Pink had her gun spun up and just took him down.
And Blunt got a little too far ahead of his medic. You gotta stay with your medic, guys.
Time still with the advantage here, but not nearly so scary as it was a moment ago.
Has an Uber. That will beat the crits if they've used if they want to use it.
Blunt gets a bit of vengeance on Pink there.
They get killed.
Well,
Our control point.
Time lost a bunch of players, but they still have it. Oh, they just used it. And their Time has an advantage.
T5 takes back the Spire. There's a mini sentry watching it, but it's not going to be enough to stop.
The control point is being contested. Alert. Our control point is being captured.
So Uber, Gazankt, and Gearloose all coming up to the Spire now for Time. I'm going to take it back.
Yeah, T5 needs to get out of there. They need to just hold last. They got a bit of an Uber advantage. They got 2 meds up. And about 10%-ish advantage, maybe 15% advantage. They can hold this if they stay defensive, they stay passive. Just let Time come to them, they can keep this. But I don't see anyone watching last, except for a sentry. And that's about to go down.
Sentry is dead.
I don't know where that demo is, though.
He is dead as well. Sparky found him out.
Greybeard is the one with stickies on last. He is alive on the left. Got pushed up. He shouldn't be there. He gets killed, they can walk right in and take the point.
T5's got 2 Ubers getting ready to go. Unfortunately, they're both Kritzkriegs, so you can't really hold the point when you got a Kritzkrieg. If you're defending, you gotta be
The
defensive.
control point is being captured.
This is a map where it's very easy to get lulled into trying to defend Turtle, because it's a very turtle-friendly map if you're solid, but that's not going to win anything. Have to get out there and be aggressive as well.
Time's got an Uber, and they're pushing it in lower right. Unfortunately, the Uber counter hasn't popped, and there's too much there to deal with. They can get a sentry and get out of there if they're lucky. T5, if they can move fast enough, they could take Spire.
Yeah,
I don't know
they've
if
cleaned
they're
up
going
pretty
to.
well here.
Time's almost got an Uber, but they just got some players respawned. Oh, man, almost taking a backstab. He got an Uber saw instead. He just got 25% Uber charge off that spy.
Alert. The control point is being contested.
That could make all the difference, really. Once again,
Looks like
both
Black and Blue
teams-
used his Kritzkrieg.
Unfortunately, the heavy with healing was dead. That was again, seems being way too aggressive. They should have been a little bit happier with what they got with Spire, and they could have just held back and spammed a bit. I need to get those respawns in order to be able to hold this. The Winder's almost got an Uber up. What T5 really needs to do here is they need to not lose players, because the Winder's going to get an Uber up first.
There are spies on both teams now. Wedge knocks out Doomslapper, who was trying to get to him. Wedge is sniping at last, getting driven off by a bit of soldier fire from Sparky.
T5 has both their medics going up to the upper. The ADP gets taken down by a random crit hill. It's a bad situation for them. Although they're using their crits in the lobby here.
They wrap around the corner. Oh!
That's an Uber popped by Inner and Blunt. They're way too far away for it to do too much, but they're going to come in on the flank perhaps. There's a spy behind them. It's spy versus spy, Doomslapper and Tungsten.
Snuffed out.
Bugsby's
getting too aggressive. He doesn't need to push in. He needs to back out. He needs to get interaction.
Yes.
Pink Bandit in the right place, the right time to get Inner, but then goes down to Blunt Spoon.
Black and Blue had his crit streak ready. They needed to wait probably for the other half to get in position. They were still outside near the spire.
Now we have a scout going on point. Getting some cap time, drawing the attention of time.
Maple and Sparky. Sparky using the pain train there. Cap. Maple Man gets the cap just before being fragged. That will obviously push things back just a hair. Uber up there trying to take it back for time.
Unfortunately, time didn't have any players down, so nobody's going to get spawned back. It's just going to force them out a little bit, but they haven't really lost anything. T5 just lost 2 players for that. There's really not much to be gained from it.
Excellent point made. And Rumpel goes down, but his sentry remains up. A level 3 that can see part of the point.
Uber red heavy on battlement. Definitely pay attention to the other heavy. His villain's down for it.
Pink Bandit and Blunt Spoon have been duking it out with crits against each other all night long. Interesting to see how that's going. Maple Man back up on the spire, takes it again on behalf of T5.
In this case, there's still not much in the way of
there. Doomslapper.
Doomslapper taking out the medic.
Takes Inner, yeah.
Red Soldier in upper and heavy in trash. They're really using that dispenser that they have in trash. They're just kind of camping it and sandwiching between the heavies in trash and the baby sentry on Pride Rock. I mean, they're just kind of locking it down with crossfire from hit scan.
Maple Man in the backfield pulls 3 people chasing him down before Tungsten gets a revolver kill on him. It's an effective bit of distraction work.
Pretty cheeky level 3 sentry on battlements by T5. I mean,
that is a good spot. It's about to get killed.
Being watched. There it goes.
Yeah, Rumpel got killed off that earlier, but it was helping cover point pretty well.
Looks like Devilish goes down to Wedge. You gotta watch your head, guys. You got a scary sniper on the team. Just kind of sitting on Gray, chilling out and taking headshots. It's like an all-you-can-eat buffet, basically.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
Sentry gun going back up in that same place.
Backstab doesn't land, but he swooped Wedge out and taking another headshot.
Inner almost got killed. He was taunting there. I'm not sure if that was an accident.
Wedge snipes Pink Bandit down.
I hope so.
Takes Potato down. Couple of important shots there. Forces back the T5 push on the corner.
Yeah, I'd love to be hearing either team's communications right now. I mean, there's a lot going on, a lot of back and forth. Both of them got to be chattering. Rocky jumping on the point just briefly before backing out and realizing it was a bad idea to do that.
Had a brief graphical glitch there. He appeared transparent, but got that fixed. He's Inner and Blunt Spoon striding up to the top. Inner staying hidden like he should, making sure he's protected until everything's clear.
Gonna milk the Uber up there for a minute.
That's an Uber ready to go. Both Ubers ready. One
Uber,
used.
Uber used by Inter, by the
Blunt is out of ammo.
Blunt is out of ammo.
That's right.
He picks one
He's
up
picked
as
up
the
some
Uber
ammo.
runs off.
But they're going to get flanked here.
I don't know if I like that from Inter. He had 7 HP when he popped that Uber. If Uber were off, he was surrounded by enemies. If he was surrounded by enemies, he'd just go down immediately. He's gone down, but I mean, one stray bullet could have ended that. They would have lost their Uber, they would have lost their heavy, and they would have lost that point probably. Two full Ubers from T5. Let's see some aggression here, guys.
Alert. Our control point is being captured.
Here's a pretty aggressive push from Red.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
And a drop.
T5 is...
Spire trading back and forth a bit.
T5's getting whittled away pretty hard here.
Yeah, they're
That
really
Uber
committed to
Heavy's
this fight,
not going to do
unfortunately.
anything.
All their players are gone. There's nothing watching the last.
Still
Little
hasn't taken
too
out the money
aggressive.
center.
The control point is being captured.
Oh, Maple Man saving the point from the spy cap.
But
See if
I
they can
think
deal with Mateo.
He's putting fire on the point, trying to get some
Our control
damage.
point is
And
being
Uber
captured.
just walks on and takes it.
I even missed that one because it was so quick, but big push right in there, obviously.
Say a caveat. They had T5 had 2 Ubers and they got aggressive, but they overextended. They got a little too aggressive again, and half their team went down quickly before they got out of the base, basically. So.
You saw a nice work from Mateo and from Sergeant Uber Pancakes there, who didn't go to the point. They sat from above and they spammed onto that point and did a lot of damage, which allowed other players to count.
Here we see T5 coming out aggressive. Almost gets the center before Gazank and Mateo take him out. There's not a lot of other T5 in the mid.
It's pretty much all time dominating the midpoint. T5 got trapped in their house and they're gonna get punished, but they need to back out.
Looking at about 4 minutes and 15 seconds or so coming up left on the clock.
Got a crit spree, get choked, got double crit spree. Demo countered heavy and just took him out. Look how Med went down on the other team, and oh man. T5's back.
Yep. T5 has lost both medics in that mid fight.
And Inter just got an Uber up.
There's a wrangled L1. It goes down to
Not
Gazank's. Yeah, just as I say that, it gets exploded.
Place for your nest.
Nice air shot
Air
there
shot by
against
Gazank's
Wedge.
They just need some feet on that point. They popped an Uber, they didn't actually take Spire. They need to jump there and take it. Their plan is to just roll in and take last. They gotta get feet on Spire before they can get last.
There is defense too. It's Pink Bandit and Sparky who are going to be fighting back. Uber on the point, however.
T5 got a little bit ahead of him. Oh, and hits the magic death. Oh my.
Sparky barely has any
Poor
health. He
Inter.
saves it for a moment. There's the cap.
Our control point is being captured.
They're pushing for
Time is
final.
down players. They do have an Uber, so they may try to push this knowing they have advantage. Shoot farms is still not even up, so a huge
Yeah, the
Uber
heavy
advantage
med.
given. I think ADP
Watching
is running
lower
crits at
left.
the moment.
He has deployed it as
Demo
well.
upper, and
No, ADP is deployed his regular Uber.
well, it's really unfortunate for time is they got a bunch of stickies in the point, and they got a level 1 sentry. There's nothing watching Nade.
Wedge drops in behind the combo there. They don't even see him as he blows up Potato and lends a hand against Bandit.
Unfortunately, he got killed by Sparky before he could get any heals.
Alert. The control point is being captured.
T5 though,
Sparky's trying to
pushing
hold
back
up
out
medic.
to Spire. There is a mini sentry causing some problems. Uber gets the defense.
Can't quite take out the
Sparky
medics,
being
though.
sneaky.
See if I
Trying to
can
get some
ride
in for
along
team,
here with
really.
Uber.
It's not gonna work, he backs out.
Uber goes down. On board with Shroot
That-
Farms,
that-
90% of it
that-
crits.
Countered by
Healing up
both
Pink.
medics on time. They both have, they almost have it. They're both at 92%.
It's 100% Uber on a crits Krieg for Shroot Farms.
Nice jump in by Gazank. Gets 2.
Oh,
on
Spy
Slayer.
from behind there. He pops the crits Krieg,
Oh, the quick piece popped, but there's nobody there.
leaps down to lay it on Pink Bandit for a minute. They get the Spy, and then they go down. Potato
Only
down.
5
heavy.
up for time, but only 5 up also for T5.
Yeah, and time, or T5 just got a
Very
respawn as a heavy med.
Big push coming in, but there are enough T5s there to deal with it.
Yeah, the T5
was just a heavy
spawned
med.
4 players all of a sudden. Made a big difference.
Yeah,
there.
if those players
100%
had
Uber on
not-
ADP. Oh, Pink Bandit with the punch out on Wedge as Spy. And Tungsten also at the stab. That's multiple Spies on time. I don't think I've ever seen 2 Spies at a time on a Ville Cup game.
Not on Badlands, that's for sure.
Especially not on Badlands.
I think
It's-
T5 moving out against the center point.
There, they believed that they could sneak somebody in.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
Really didn't work
It's
for 'em.
Rumpelnose Dimple, the
Rumpelnose.
engineer, has a mini sentry in middle by himself on center, almost able to cap it. Shroot Farms, the medic comes out and caps it as the mini takes down Blunt Spoon the heavy. T5 taking
One swap and
mid.
everybody else
26
moves up.
seconds left though, probably too little too late unless they move very fast. But an interesting
No, I-
change-up.
Dude's
I
never
don't
missed
see
an
anything
easy
happening here.
backstab. Everybody complains about face stabs. Who sees that should know. Every once in a while, those real backstabs don't take.
That is a fact. Been on the bad end of those way too many times as a Spy. Wedge still running Spy as time ends.
Time is up.
Time wins 2-0 in the second, 1-0 in the
Good
first.
game, guys. See y'all next weekend.
It's a couple of good games there from our teams tonight. Time and T5. Now, coming up next, we're going to be looking at Half-Life 3 versus 32X, the add-ons. HL3 has got an 0-2 record, and the add-ons are the other way around at 2-0.